Hi, my name is Beth and I'm the sewing pattern designer and blogger at Sew DIY. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to store PDF patterns. I get asked this a lot and I can understand how it can be a little confusing and cumbersome to figure out how to store these patterns that we printed at home. So I'm going to show you the methods that I've developed over the years to easily store PDF patterns so that I know how I can always find them. And first, let's talk about the digital storage, because that is just as important, if not more important, than how we physically store them after we've printed them. So I always recommend that as soon as you buy your PDF pattern, you get on your desktop or laptop computer and download the files to that computer. If you download to your phone or your tablet, it's going to be a little more difficult because sometimes patterns come in zip files, including my own, and you usually need another app to open the zip file on your phone or tablet. So just go to your desktop or laptop, download the files to there, and then what I do right away is I have a folder on my computer called Digital Pattern Library, and then it has subfolders for sewing patterns, knitting patterns, and then within those, folders for the designer. So then I'll just drag my files over from the downloads into the subfolders and keep it organized by designer on my computer. Next, I right away back up those files to a cloud service. I use Evernote, but you could also use Google Drive, Dropbox, and I think even Trello. And all of these have free options, and it's really important to back up your patterns as well as your other files because you've paid a lot of money for them, and if your computer ever crashes, you'll want to know that those files are safe. Also, when your patterns are on a cloud system, you can access them when you're away from your computer. So if you're at work or you're traveling, you can get on a computer or even your smartphone and open up those PDFs and look at the information. Like if you're buying fabric or something while you're traveling, it can be really handy to be able to access those patterns if you're away from home. So I even take it one step further, and a few times a year, I will back up my digital pattern library from my computer to an external hard drive. And this is just an extra kind of safety measure to make sure that my patterns aren't going to all go missing. Now I'm going to show you how I store my patterns after I've printed them out. Let's get started. All right, so I like to store my PDF patterns folded up and inside these 3-ring binders. I have a whole bunch of binders and I organize them by pattern company, and then I write on the side in this marker that writes on plastic the name of the pattern company to help me organize it. And let me get these out of the way. Inside the binder, I have these plastic sleeves, and these are just leftover plastic sleeves because I used to save clippings in 3-ring binders. Like I had all these dessert recipes and random stuff. So, and I would save it in these plastic sleeves. I don't really recommend buying a whole bunch of plastic to store your patterns, but if you have these on hand already, they're really useful. So what I do is I will take my pattern piece and I want to fold it down so that it fits inside here. And this is already printed on 8.5 by 11, and it works pretty well to just fold it where it's been taped. So you can see here, this is like the extra edge, and right here it's just folding along the hinge that's made by the tape. So I'll link to how I also cut out and assemble my patterns, but just gonna fold along those hinges, and then that is going to fit right inside. It works pretty well. If you get a bigger pattern piece, you're gonna have to do a little more folding. So this piece I'm also going to fold down a little bit more, but I just try to minimize the amount of creases that I have and fold along the hinges as much as possible. So get that in there. I think I maybe didn't fold it straight, so it's being less cooperative, but anyway, you get the idea. You just fold it up along the hinge, put it in the sleeve, and then I put these in my 3-ring binder. So the other thing I like to do is if I have any small pattern pieces that are like a pocket or something, if they don't need to be folded to fit into the plastic sleeve, then I don't fold them at all. And I will put this piece in the very front so that when I'm flipping through the pages, I'll be able to know what the pattern is and who the designer is. If I don't have any small pattern pieces that are going to help with that, I will put a little Post-it or another piece of paper inside the sleeve that has the name of the pattern and the size. I also have some patterns that are printed on large A0 size paper, and these I mostly just keep rolled up. And I've also labeled these with a Post-it so that I know what's inside there. And sometimes I trace these off if I think I might need to use another size at a later date, but I'll often just cut into it. And if I cut into one of these A0s, then I just fold it up, put it in the plastic sleeve and store it. But if I haven't cut it yet, or I'm not planning to cut it, then I keep it rolled up like this and just in a corner in my closet. Well, I hope that video was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I'd love to hear how you store your patterns after you've printed them out. And I would be so honored if you hit that little subscribe button below and then hit the little bell so that you can be notified every time I release a new video. Happy sewing!